introducing the notion of a writing cube for our work on WebXR with the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. The basic design premise is that reading and authoring are intimately related, as we really learned last year when we were learning more about reading in XR. And the design question then becomes, how can we combine reading and writing without the space becoming cluttered? The approach taken here is to have a quick way to get a small writing implement, writing cube, writing notebook, whatever we might end up calling it, available to the user anytime, and for that to be very flexible, interacting with their environment, and to be hidden away quickly as well. Imagine taking out a Moleskine or some kind of a notebook from your jacket pocket. That's the feel it should have. So the spawn interaction is based on currently you can tap on your left wrist if you're right-handed to make something happen. Currently it's to show and hide commands. What we're suggesting here is adding the ability to tap on your right wrist, which will then show this cube. Now the initial appearance of the cube for the user may very well be more flattened, maybe more like a writing surface, but it can be 3D, 2D, depending on what the user wants. Initially, the user can choose to type with a Bluetooth keyboard or to write on it like a digital tablet. The spatiality, which is of course the unique aspect of XR, is that the user can, for example, drag 3D objects or other objects onto it, like you would do a copy and paste, or into it, as you can see here with an exaggerated size, space, volume. They could make it tall for writing, or it could even become transparent. So the thing is, it can be flat when needed to, or it can have 3D volume. When it has 3D volume, it could be flipped around, and each of the different X sides could provide different information or different views. Of course, it could be more than 6 sides because it doesn't have to be Euclidean. The user should be able to stretch the proportions, rotate it, of course, and also to put it down, whatever that might mean in XR, on a physical or virtual table, physical or virtual wall, or other item in the space. When it's more flattened, the user should be able to do lots of different things too. We don't know what yet, but we're thinking of maybe one side to hold to move, another one to pull out further information, save views, choose views. Could be all sorts of things now that we have decided that this is one of the interfaces we're looking forward to going into experimenting with. Unfolded, it can look like several pages in horizontal or vertical. It could also be very flexible and mimic other materials. It could also be a stack of hyperlike cards connected at the point of need or not, just in space. Personally, I really like the idea of authoring an XR on something like a 14-inch monitor, relatively speaking, connected in interesting ways. There are reasons Bill Atkinson made cards and not scrolling system for HyperCard that I can really identify with. It should also be possible for whatever is in this to be spread out like a knowledge map, either by having it be segmented or laying on a specific side and it opens up into a knowledge map space. This is independent from the resources that the user has to make a new document. This is about the document itself. Because it's non-Euclidean, one of the sides could maybe be massive and it could be a map. Of course, a 3D map or anything else. And you should be able to pull up a huge mural or knowledge graph if you want to. Furthermore, 3D objects in space should be able to be attached by touching it or by being in proximity or embedded into it. So the shape and affordances of the cube are to be discussed. There could be so many, and this is one of the things can benefit from community dialogue. Now we've decided this is one approach that we're looking at for the authoring. And of course, once we've done some authoring, this can be part of the user's reading space. How different volumes like this can appear in a place for reading and for studying will be another challenge. Of course, this allows us to use the hand menu that we developed last year even more, because now we don't have to worry about this major change between reading and suddenly writing. We don't have to take up anything of the fingers. What is shown here is, of course, indicative. We're redesigning what they can do. Onboarding, this cube will not be hidden, but it could even be shown by some sort of an avatar, which may even just be a pre-recorded video of one of us talking to the user in space saying, please tap on your wrist for this, and so on. So in summary then, I'm suggesting, and we have approved in the group, which is great, tap on your wrist for a cube and experiment with what it can do. Next, we'll be interacting with multiple knowledge objects, how you can have a lot of things in space, 3D knowledge space, and it can be like what some people call a murder wall, or a knowledge map, or something like that. How you can select by category, how you can really deal with it. Now, we have restricted ourselves to working in VR because the hardware software solutions don't support AR. So it means there will be limited movement by the user, maybe seated at a physical desk that's overlain, maybe there is no physical desk, maybe seated back on a swivel chair or on a normal chair. Also, the user should be able to stand up if they want, where they get a certain more stereoscopic benefit, plus they can align things in their room. But all of these things can now really be studied, because we have the basic notion that what we are authoring is a volume that will appear roughly as a volume, and how we stack things into it will now be what we research to create a full working authoring version. Thank you very much for having a look at this. It's an incredibly exciting project. It's going to be even more exciting, really developing all the different aspects as we get into it.